Good evening.
I must imagine. Yeah. So, I don't know what were we saying about you being a fascist? I just really wanted to tell you why you're a fascist. That's and your definition of fascism, why it was wrong. That's all I wanted to do this whole time.
First of all, are you really a mod for Jackson Hinkle?
Oh my God. Hey, look. I talked to what's her name? That media wench on Discord. She came in after you. To try to get you back in, and she
Yes.
was like, he just wants to get a story. Blah 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 blah. And we were talking with her. I also kicked you out. Actually, I probably made a mistake kicking you out because I think there was like a raid at another time by some other people, and you just happened to be a person that just happened to go on the server. So I probably actually mistook and kicked you off. But
Oh, you just happened to make a mistake when I'm like, hey, can I debate Jackson?
no, you hadn't said that. You were on the. This is on the Discord server.
No, I had. I took screenshots. I screenshot everything.
Well, you screenshotted the live stream when you were talking about that, wanting to debate Jackson.
No, it was in the Discord.
You were talking to me in the Discord?
Somebody told me I had to debate you in order to get to Jackson. I'm like, well, hey, hook me up. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, I'll see what I can do. I mean, people certainly gave him a chance, right? I mean, there's no reason why.
Exactly. Thank you. I think I like you. Okay. I'm not so exacerbated about it now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. I just don't know. I listened to you for a couple days, or a couple episodes, and I'm just like, I just am so fascinated and bewildered about like why you people think like people like Jimmy Dore and people like Jackson are far right. That's just it just blows my mind.
I don't necessarily think that they are far right. I think they are grifters.
You think they're just grifting on popular ideas? That's just wherever they're going.
Unpopular ideas?
What do you think they're grifting on? Like, I don't understand. Like what could they possibly be grifting on? Like the things that they do are pretty unpopular. I mean, like generally speaking, right? I mean, what sort of new wave sort of thing do they catch on to and sort of like
you say it's unpopular, but it got Jackson on Tucker Carlson.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, so you're saying that sometimes, well, it does work against you, or stuff like that does work for you sometimes. You're right, and that did happen to get him bumped up quite a bit because of the. But as far as it goes, I mean, his PayPal, his way of being paid, everything else has been cut off. I mean, it's not really the optimal way to go just to get sort of like, recognized. It's pretty suppressing. It's not exactly the type.
Why did his? Okay, I actually don't know that much about him, so I have no idea about his PayPal being cut off or anything. Well, I like to talk about like facts and data and shit. That's my kind of thing.
Well, yeah, no, it's been well known. Like he's been demonetized on YouTube. He's been taken off PayPal.
I don't really know who he is, so like the fact that he's been demonetized on YouTube means nothing to me. And also, like, most of my videos get demonetized. Just talking about politics.
He's been utterly completely demonetized. He cannot make money on YouTube.
Do you know why that is, TurboJerko? Do you know why YouTube does that?
I do know why YouTube does that. He had two strikes on his channel, and then they demonetized him.
But what's the reason for giving out the strikes and having the policy that they have on monetization?
It was just basically they didn't give him a response. Like, it was basically on his situation on YouTube. It was actually a mass reporting. It was actually from a Ukraine like a Discord group like that basically plotted against him and mass reported him, and that's what caused the strikes and the demonetization, which you had to go to Rumble for.
Okay,
but I mean,
YouTube has an incentive to try to sanitize their platform for advertisers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So my kind of content where I'm sitting here smoking pot and talking about controversial subjects and shit, like none of my videos are monetized. I might not have monetization taken away from me the way Jackson did.
But we're talking about like super chat and all these features are completely removed. He's not allowed to have a super chat.
Because they want to encourage a certain kind of speech that is advertiser friendly.
Right. Well, sure. I guess, and that's
their right.
Right. He's more pro Russia. He's saying things about the Ukraine.
I don't think it has anything to do about being pro or anti Russia. I think it has to do with no. Like, are you telling me that somebody at YouTube is sitting there reviewing his content and it's like, I am demonetizing him because of his view on this?
Well, in fact,
no. First of all, like almost all instances, perhaps with Jackson because he's a little bit bigger, he has gotten actual human eyeballs. But most of these instances are automation, correct?
Most of them are, yeah.
Jackson may have gotten human eyeballs on his issue because he is a little bit bigger.
Well, they mass reported. It was mass reported by a whole bunch of people. It was.
But I'm wanting to talk about incentive structures of the system that we live in and how we can change those structures, right? So that YouTube isn't incentivized to stifle certain kind of speech for their advertisers.
Well, I mean, you were just kicked off of Twitter, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, what did you get kicked off of Twitter for? Probably mass reporting, right?
I think so. I think it was a bunch of the fans of the Christian rapper that I debated the other night. I don't understand. What are you laughing about?
I'm just laughing at debating a Christian rapper. That's funny. You know, what happened?
It was fucking wild, dude. It was fucking wild. Go back and watch it.
Okay. I mean, to get mass reported on that, I mean, that's bullshit. That's unfair. I mean, if you got bullied by a bunch of people, you know, just upset with their person that you were debating or whatever, I mean, that's unfair. I mean, like, you know, I mean, Twitter's a different story, but I mean,
but that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen with any group, with any person who's a public figure. Like, that's just gonna happen. The right. issue that we have is the capitalist incentive to sanitize your platforms for advertisers. And I don't think a lot of commentators really call out what's really going on.
Of course not. But I mean, you can talk about YouTube on YouTube, and you can complain about YouTube on YouTube.
But you framed it like Jackson Hinkle has this, they're personally out to get me for my political views, and that's not at all what's going on.
I think they're personally.
But I would argue that it is very good for his personal brand to act like that's what's going on. I think that's misleading his audience.
Okay, I see your point, but in lots of senses it is, right? I mean,
that's a marketing ploy. I fucking hate that shit. Fucking win people over with your talent, not with your stupid big tech's trying to cancel me. I'm sorry to talk over you. Go on.
It's not a big marketing ploy though, man. It's not a big. He would. I guarantee he did not plan on losing his payment methods. I mean all the payment methods. They all ditched him. He cannot use PayPal or anything or Venmo. He can't do anything for his own personal reasons. He can't do. It's all gone. Like, he cannot receive money. That's not necessarily a marketing ploy. I mean, like, they really are after him. It's
who? There's no nefarious who. Like,
who?
Like, yeah.
Well, for instance, like if you took a moment to look, I mean, there actually is proof of the what I said about the YouTube about the Ukrainian sort of bot army kind of coming in and mass reporting him.
Yeah, but that's like fucking do people mass report me all the time? Like, it's just a thing that happens. We have to change the incentive structure of the platforms.
Sure we do. But I mean, I'm just saying that I don't think that Jackson's using it as a marketing ploy.
I think he is. I think it's it's a lot what the right wing does and claims persecution.
Right wing? I mean, how do you think that he's right wing? In what way?
Well, I don't know enough about him to even say that he's right wing. I would actually like to talk to him and find out what he actually believes and where he stands on policy issues.
I mean, he'll tell you he's a communist. I mean, he'll say
every time I've seen him appear somewhere, like, I haven't really heard him talk about policy. It has been an appeal to some sort of clicky nature. It has been YouTube, Twitch drama, and it hasn't really been about facts or
He talks
data.
about policy all the time. He talks about policy all the time. He's really thorough.
I would love to fucking talk to him then.
Well, I'm sure that can happen, but I'm just saying, like you know, the other day when you were watching Jimmy Dore, I think, were you watching Jimmy Dore on your channel, or was it you're talking about Jimmy Dore?
Somebody brought up Jimmy Dore. A caller brought up Jimmy Dore.
I'm bringing up Jimmy Dore just because I'm wondering, like, why you think that he's far right, or why he's right as well. And he talks about policy all the time. I mean, I can't think of one right wing policy he talks about. I mean, I don't see how you'd even think that.
Here's my issue with Jimmy Dore is that if everybody is getting behind this presidential run, that is a grift. A third party is not going to win nationally. Anybody who is trying to make a national attempt at a third party is just a grifter. You have to build a party from the ground up. And my thing with, hey, TurboJerko, have you ever worked on a campaign?
No, I've never worked in a campaign.
Have you been involved in a part, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or a third party? Have you been involved in party politics on the county level?
Yes, I have.
Cool. That is all. That is a rare response to get. So thank you for that.
It's a rare response?
It's a very rare response. Yes.
Why?
It's a rare response from people that usually are coming from your position, advocating for these third-party campaigns on the national level, because people that actually know how politics works don't usually fall for the stupid
I know all about like making a third party, the infrastructure that has to be done, and all these. It's almost impossible. I understand all this. Like, it's
not impossible. It's not impossible to go out here and win some seats on your county government or your city council.
Well, yeah. I'm, but I think the idea is to hijack something else. That's what I'm pretty sure. Like there's a lot of talk about,
well, cool. You and I are just one individual, and we don't have a lot of fucking power at the national level.
No.
But you and I have a shit ton of power if we go and apply ourselves at the local level. And if you do that inside of any kind of party apparatus, you are doing what you can to move that party towards your political leanings. And sitting around and bitching about it on the internet is not doing that.
No, I'm just interested in your mindset. Like when you say like Jimmy Dore is a right wing, I mean, like it's just weird when you're analyzing Jackson's show on, or his appearance on the Tucker Carlson show. I mean, you were commenting on it. You said he mentioned George Soros and Carl Schwab, and you said, oh, anti-Semitic going on here. You know that's not anti-Semitic. You know that those, like, you know about Carl Schwab, and you know who George Soros are, right? You know.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum, and George Soros is a investment banker. Yes, I know.
But you know that it's not anti-Semitic to call them, evil, sort of plotting. It's not anti-Semitic. You called it anti-Semitic. Here we go with the anti-Semitism. It's not anti-Semitic. Carl Schwab is not a Jew.
Yeah, I don't even know what nationality Carl Schwab is.
No, I know you don't. He's German. He sounds like.
When I hear George Soros, it's usually a stand-in for the Jews.
Do you know what George Soros did? Right, George Soros was like he collaborated with. Yeah. He's not in anything to do with Jewish people. I mean, George Soros is not.
George Soros is a Jew.
He's not. He's by ethnicity. He might be you might call him a Jew.
By ethnicity, he might be a Jew.
Well, by meaning of
dude, I'd go ahead and stop on this one. You'd turn that car around.
What? Dude, George
Soros. That car around.
About George Soros? George Soros has nothing to do with the Jewish community whatsoever. If you knew anything about him, you would not be like referring to that as an anti-Semitic conversation or anti-Semitic sort of comment.
I just turn this. No. And this isn't debating George Soros personally. I just know how the right uses George Soros.
It's a fact. I'm just trying to say that like when you said those comments, it was like I was just like, what? You totally critiqued the whole segment like completely backwards. It was just like, what the fuck?
Have you ever seen Schindler's List?
Yes.
Did Schindler corroborate with the Nazis or collaborate with the Nazis?
Oh yeah, it's not the same thing at all. And
is it not?
It's not, and not only that.
It is, Jerko. It is, man. You're being very selective, but like I don't even. Oh man, they're redeeming the hang up on you.
Well, anti-Semitism is it's a pretty heavy like sort of thing to say.
It is well, like that's the way the right uses it, man. Like you like remember the Jews will not replace us, people on the Unite the Right rally and everything. Like this isn't like it's uncommon.
Well, it's the same thing.
And I want to know what.
You said you're
okay, I've got to hang up on you because they redeemed it, but I want to ask you a question. What is it that George Soros did that I should be concerned about?
Oh, he went door to door with Nazis into Jewish homes.
No. What is he doing now that I should be concerned about?
Investment banking? Oh, well, he's basically it's part of the World Economic Forum. And if you don't buy all that stuff, but the whole like globalist scare, the
Great Reset theory.
Yeah, you think it's about.
But like I've heard that conspiracy for years and years and years, just because some unaware dumbasses at the World Economic Forum who are completely
they're doing it right in front of you. It's not even a conspiracy. It's not even.
It is, man. It is a conspiracy. Well, and the reason why I know it is a conspiracy is because I was there. I used to believe that shit.
You used to believe it. It's not really a belief thing. It's kind of like something that's happening.
And then I went back to college and I got a degree in philosophy and had to take classes in logic and practical reasoning. And I had to question everything that I believed. And I came to the conclusion that a lot of the shit that I believed was bullshit.
Really? So
yeah, I was a 9/11 truther and shit.
You don't have to. It's not like a 9/11. No one knows what the fuck happened in 9/11.
Oh, I do. I read the 9/11 Commission report. Motherfucker. And I know what they leave out, too.
Actually, like, who did it? I mean, no one knows. Really? I mean, like, the people that...
the Saudis financed it, and then like, 19 hijackers carried it out. We do know who did it. That's...
Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, whatever's written down might be the way it is. I'm not into...
Are you saying that the Saudis didn't finance 9/11?
I have no way to find out what
well, that's a pretty documented fact, dude.
The Great Reset, though, is right in front of your face.
No, the Great Reset predates the fucking World Economic Forum using that term. Like, they've just heard that and not known that it was a conspiracy theory and thought it sounded like a good term or some shit. Just some completely unaware old assholes was like, oh, that sounds like let's call it the Great Reset. And they had no clue that was a well-established conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay, so they're just going on.
I've got to hang up on you, dude, because they redeemed the thing. But like, will you? I've got to because they redeemed the thing, and the chat is in control. And I would look like an asshole if I didn't follow the chat. But I want you to get me hooked up with Jackson Hinkle, please.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you, Jerko. It was a pleasure talking to you, and that went a lot better than I thought it would. Have a good night, my friend.
You too. Bye.